Hello, my name is Omar Ayman. Uh, I did this project with my colleagues, Sherif Talaat, Marc, and George Magid behind the camera. Actually, this project is called Snake, and we played this snake game by two buttons. Like, this is actually after it hit the end of the lead matrix. So actually this button is moving the snake like clockwise, and this one is moving the snake like anti-clockwise, until we found like the lights went off. I complete the idea of the game actually. I will keep playing until one of these LEDs will make like a light to know in which the fruit in which column or in which row. So this is actually the whole idea about the game. So I will let my colleague Sherif Talaat complete how this circuit is designed.
I will now explain how this circuit works. First, I'm gonna demonstrate the buttons, how it works. The first button controls the snake to go anti-clockwise. The second button controls the snake to go clockwise. This button will reset the game. This LEDs, as Omar said, this one will show you where the fruit is in what column, and this in what row. Okay, this is the VCC of the circuit. This is the ground. Every button must have its own ground and VCC, not its own connected to ground or VCC. This is its resistors, and this pin is connected to pin. This button is connected to pin 2. Sends its input to pin 2, and this one sends it to pin 3. The reset is connected to pin 4, and each one of these LED connected to A4 and A3. Okay, this is handled of course in the code. And now we'll go to the LED. Each one of these controls either a column or a row. And this also controls, I think, all the columns and rows. Okay, all the columns and rows. Okay, thank you. And now my colleagues will demonstrate how the code works.
My name is Marc. I will now explain how the code works. First of all, a method called setup is called only once in the whole code. What it does is first configure the two LEDs as output here in these two lines. Then we need to set a random place for the fruit, which is done by these three lines. And now we configure our three buttons as inputs in these three lines. And then we need to turn off all the LED matrix dots. So this loop turns off all the columns, and this one turns off all the rows. And then in these two lines we set the interrupt for the right and the left button on the rising edge. Then another method, which is called loop, which is called many times in the code. What it does is it checks for the reset button. If it's high, meaning if we press the reset button, it resets everything in the game. So we need to reset our head, meaning the current row will be 3 and the column will be 4. These two lines just control how will the snake move. And these 4 lines just turns on the place of the snake, the dot matrix the dots of the snake. Then we generate another random place for the food. We continue resetting everything. So now resetting the 2 LEDs. We set them both to low here. And then we turn on all the LED matrix. So in this loop, we turn on all the columns. And in this loop, we turn on all the rows, indicating that the game is being reset. And finally, we generate a delay. So now I will leave you with George Magid, who will continue explaining the rest of the code.
This is George Magid, and I will explain the rest of the code. Here, when we assign the right button and the left button to an interrupt, we call the method right debounce and left debounce, which make debounce for the button. Here it is. After the debounce, we call go right, for example, or go left. Go right if the snake is already going right, meaning it decrements the row by one. We change the direction. If it's going right and we rotate it clockwise, we will increase the column instead and set the row difference equals 0. The same is for the go left, and I will explain how this works in the next method, which is move snake. Every time we go in long and the delay for the snake is done, we move the snake and then we light the pixels after we move the snake. So first thing we do is in move snake we increment the row by the row difference, which is either 1, 0 or -1, and the same for the column. If the snake hits the if the snake hits the end of the matrix, everything is reset, just like if we press the reset button. And if the row is the same as the food row, we light up the first LED, and if the column is the same as the second column, we light up the second LED. And if they're both the same, we also reset the game and light the whole LED matrix and wait for 2 seconds. Add and shift array changes the position of the snake according to the place where it should be. It updates the light row and light column matrix, which light pixel would use to know which pixels in the matrix to light up. And that's it.